those games. They were without imports. They were a new team, but they did finish off that exhibition series playing against these Sydney Sirens at that AWIHL final series here in Melbourne.
That's correct. They played that in at Dockland on the through that series there. And Gossi, I think you've got the scores from that as well. But one of the interesting things that the Ducks found, certainly with the 2 exhibition games, is that there's no substitute for playing at actual elite level intensity. And they've done an awful lot of training. This group's trained together for about 3 years now on the whole. And they're pretty pleased to be here and actually able to strut their stuff at the elite level as fully fledged Ducks, if you prefer, with all their feathers intact. But it's going to be different for them. But hopefully they've had enough time to adapt to the speed. But the Sirens are going to bring it. The Sirens come into this with a bit of a point to prove, I think. I see previously they've been very successful through the AWIHL with a couple of grand final wins, a couple of names on the trophy in I think 2019, and then obviously the COVID interrupted years, and then 2022 they won. But the next 2 years, 23 and 24, they finished on the bottom of the ladder, which that's some big personnel changes. Kind of Godfrey in particular moved to Melbourne, and that's great having Shana here in Melbourne. We love having her around. She's played a lot in our pro league, but it may be different. So I think Sirens will be here with a bit of a prove. They'd like to have a more successful season this time than last time. They've still got the proud history, but can the Ducks start off on the right foot?
Well, last time out, I mean, when the Sirens played against those Ducks, it was a 2-game series during those finals. The Ducks really played with them in that first game. It was 3-3 going in late in the third, and the Sirens ended up going up by 1 in the end to win that game 4-3. And the Ducks, I guess, lost some of that momentum going into the second game, and they did lose the Sirens 4-1. But if you remember, the first few games we ever called with the Ducks, if we go back, I believe it's 2 years ago now.
Yep.
That's where we saw the only win for the Ducks. It was against the Sirens. It was an early 2-1 game. Great goaltending by David Stope on that evening. It shows that the Ducks can get a result against the Sirens team.
Well, they certainly can, but because it's now a fully fledged team, of course, no import is going to come along and play for them. Why would you if you can't play in the tournament? But certainly the Ducks now have been bolstered by a couple of weeks. In particular, they've got Govic, who is an electric defender, and in addition, only that, we've got a couple of Kiwis as well, haven't we? Well, sort of half Kiwi and half from Minnesota.
Yeah, so we've got Nelson coming over, Kaylee Nelson from New Zealand, but born in Little Lakes, Minnesota. And she was a point-per-game player for the New Zealand national team, 5 points in 5 games in the last World Championship. And she's joined by her previous teammate as well, Caitlin Hoylier, who's also from Queenstown there, and really coming to bolster with a great attack led by the always spectacular Captain Harrington.
Watch out for Sydney. We haven't seen her before. It's and we're told that she is electric. So we'll assess some action. We'll go through the anthem and welcome to the country. I'll be with you for the start of the game. Been a long time support here of hockey. We'll be doing the ceremonial puck drop between Lucy Parrington and Captain of the Sirens, who is obviously somewhere. Wait a second. Welcome to the country, and we'll have a game very shortly.
Well, there we are, Carl. The national anthem, the teams go back to their receptive homes and have a little bit of extra chat. Just the ladies, they're talking to one another and getting them that little bit of energy and that little bit of talk on what's going to be needed to come out from the start to get the W.
Well, that's absolutely right, Goss. You want to make a statement from the very first face-off. A lot of people think that face-offs don't really make that much difference in the overall scheme of the game, but certainly the first one does. If you can win a nice possession early on and get an immediate attack and try and get a shot on in the first 30 seconds. And we've certainly seen goals scored in that first 30 seconds, and I can tell you it's a massive confidence boost to the team that does it and the team that loses it. So you want to make sure that you're right on from the absolute drive of the park.
And the Sydney Sirens are littered with talent that can hit the back of the net. None other than their captain, Sarah Edney, who had 20 goals last season for the Sirens, leading the team nearly half the total goals for the entire team last season. As you mentioned, the stud, Gatormson, the import, as well as Brunt, Arps, Roberts, all on the national team here in Australia. So the Ducks are going to be up against the Sydney Sirens, but they'll be hoping to start fresh with the home crowd here.
Well, they too, guys. Interesting to see who the Ducks are going to start off with in net. I saw they've got 3 of their goals during the warm-up. We've got John Carson, of course, who's the legend of the game. Davis Tope, who came up here through the beer league, and also Olivia Gagano. We'll see how it pans out with the net. It looks like they're starting off with, I think that's Carson by the look of it.
That is. So the mass marauders of the Nets tonight for the Melbourne Ducks will be Janelle Carson starting the first ever game here at AWIHL, and for the Sydney Sirens this season, starting number 38, Ella Lakari.
Yeah, so it'll be a good match. Our system's now got reality, and we'll be able to bring you hopefully everyone's names correctly. If you're worried if you hear us mention Britt Green from the Ducks, she was Britt Mendham, but she got married recently and has changed her surname. So we'll be calling Greenie right away.
Quack, quack, quack. We're underway here at the Duck Pond, and the Melbourne Ducks having their defensive zone. It's Cameron who tried to rim that forward. Carson passes that on to the half. Cleared there nicely by Parrington. With speed through the middle now is Govic, who falls, and there is going to be an early penalty here as the Sirens tripped up the Ducks import, and the Ducks are going to be going to an early power play as Ebony Brunt will sit for.
The Sirens swept on it quite fast and got a bit of attack, but then she had nice play through the top of the defensive zone to break it out and earned the trip, and as a result she's got the first power play for the Ducks. It'll be interesting.
This is the start they'd want. It comes back to the big import, Gugovic with a shot, and that just goes wide. No deflection in front. Payne is going to get there and clear.
Gugovic racing back now to pick it up and reset. She's got help. Aggressive forechecking pressure there by the Sirens.
So early on, the Hungarian national has plenty of the puck. It's the Ducks chipping that forward, just bounces over the stick of Johnson, but she collects it now in the corner. The Sirens able to clear that off the stick of York.
Interesting collision there earlier too. Thompson introduced Janelle Carson. Sorry, not Janelle Carson. Introduced.
So
I'll get there in a minute.
Ducks captain team to set up and give her an option. It comes onto the stick there of Ryland, who chips that forward there to Rama. There's it. Intercepted there by the Sirens and cleared down the length of the ice. Behind the now collects the puck back. Just offside. And that will pinned up on the wall. Kept in here by the Ducks. Tried to stick handle in a phone booth there, but it was intercepted by the Sirens, and the Ducks sent back still without a shot here on the power play. Hoyler there, just skating away from the forechecker there for the Sirens. She has her head up and sends it over to a Nelson.
Nelson with a lovely clean win on an earlier face-off too. So far the Ducks are 2 for none on face-offs.
So that's it, the penalty over, and the Sirens escape that now 100% on the penalty kill. In with it there, taking a shot and missing was Ma. Hoyler now behind the net, rims it across. Nice job there by Mayer to pinch for the Sirens. Walks out into the slot area, drops it back there for her teammate, and a shot missed by York, as that was Sydney's first great opportunity here in the game.
Looking for a tip-in across the front there, that shot, but there was no one home for the Sirens.
Oh, and on hard there was Green as she tried to forecheck, and Cashin now steals it off the stick of Lang. Lang picks it up though on the wall and clears out now looking for Caruso. Green picks her pocket and now will chip that cross ice, which will allow her team to change. A lot of back and forth here. It's Lang chipping it forward. It missed her teammate, and it's going to go down the length of the ice, and this will be icing as Heather Island able to get back there for the Ducks.
Interestingly enough, after the first 16.5 minutes, the first 3.5 minutes of the game, no shots as the scorer sees it on the net. There's been a few chances for the goalie to watch the puck go sailing past, but no one so far forcing the goalie to actually make any saves. Defensive zone face-off now for the Sirens. We'll see how they set up. 3 players and cross in the slot.
Face-off to the right of Lakari, and it's won there by the Sirens. It's Lang behind the net. The Canadian there chips it back over to Rowe. Sent up onto the half wall, pinned up there nicely by Gallagher, and she's able to keep that puck deep into the Siren zone. Lang, nice little movement, couldn't find a teammate. It's kept in there by Parrington. Gallagher pins it on the wall there with Lang. Puck chips out into the center of the ice, and it will now be cleared there on the stick of Caruso. Caruso winds, takes a shot, and that doesn't test Carson.
Caruso was forced wide there. Good back-checking work by Ireland just to take away a line and force her wide.
Parrington up to Carson, looking there for Grugovic. Sydney turned the other way. It's Edney coming in on Ryland. Edney blocks it, walks, centers, blocked there, shot through the crease there by Edney. And that was a grade A scoring chance there for the Sirens as the Ducks nearly caught napping.
That was Guttormson there getting into the slot with a great opportunity. Just fanned on it.
So here's Guttormson back to the point there for Herink. Down to Guttormson, intercepted nicely there by Cameron. Stolen by Edney, who passes it over. Shot now, great save by Carson. Her best of the game. Guttormson now behind the net, chips it in front. A shot on and gloved by the left catching mitt of Janelle Carson.
We're certainly seeing some effective play here by Guttormson and by Edney with a good combination there. A couple of good opportunities to creating with speed and high intensity. Just catching the Ducks napping there a little bit. But as we know, Carson was up to the task, and in the end, a little lobber that she just managed to pluck out of the air.
So here's Newark for Sydney, wins that face-off. Has Ma at the point, gives it to her. Ma's going to wind, take a shot, a deflection. It's going to come right in onto Carson, and she does the right thing and gloves that one. And Sydney now up to 4 shots of the game, 4 to none so far early here in the first period.
That's all happened in the last minute and a half, 2 minutes or so, where they've just amped up the intensity a little bit. The Ducks just caught a little bit on the heels. They want to win this one cleanly and get out of here.
So here's Paige Cameron taking it to the safety behind the net. She's being watched there by the Sirens. Collecting it is Johnson, a great young player here for the Ducks. It's chipped up on the wall. Nice job there by Green. Sends it up to Cashin, but a great back check there by the Sirens. Broke that up. Now Cameron takes it through. Poke check there by Mooney. Or McConey. McConey now Centers that through onto the stick of Schmitz, a great young player, only 16 years old here for the Sirens and marked as a true future star of the game. Cameron with a shot, and that went over the net of Lakari.
I'm just speaking with Paige Cameron before the game, and she's a defender who loves to get involved in the rush and just showing how she can do it.
Here's Arps, national team player for Australia, here for the Sirens. Comes across, takes a shot, kick save, and a beauty there by Carson, but right onto the stick in Newark. She looked to center that, and it goes on to the near side wall. It's going to be picked up by the Ducks, and now with it there is Nelson. Shot in, and Hoyler's first back for the Ducks, being watched there by Edney, and it's just centered into the slot area. No one there, but it pucks through. It's loose. Carson's down, and the puck now behind the net. Nelson rimmed that one up forward. It was blocked there by Lang, one of the imports here for the Sirens, hailing from Edmonton, Alberta. The Canadian played in 6 national championships between the ages of 15 and 21.
Edney was showing us exactly.
He is breaking through. Edney, the captain, deep shot, saved by Carson. The Ducks netminder down, and they score. Sarah Edney picks up her own rebound and puts it into the back of the net before anybody knew what happened.
And you can just see Carson made the first one and pushed it in the corner. Couldn't make the second save though. Edney cleaning up the trash of her own shot, and just showing there a great example of persistence. That's why she has scored so many goals over the years. Not only the first shot in the breakaway, but also getting back, picking up those dirty goals, and taking the Sirens out to a 1-0 lead with 12 minutes and 52 seconds to go in the first.
Well, that line for the Sirens had been buzzing. Guttormson and Edney, plenty of chances, and it's the captain, 20-goal scorer from last season, who puts the Sydney Sirens up 1-0 here in the first period.
The Ducks will want to get one back in a hurry if they can.
And here's the captain of the Ducks, Parrington, tying up her opponent. It's kicked back here to Carson. She's going to leave it there for Grgovic. Grgovic being watched there by Brunt. Drops it there for Parrington. Parrington across over to Gallagher. Gallagher has the puck knocked off her stick by York. Ducks being hemmed in here. York walks off the half wall, sends it down, shot, and that bounces off the stick and ramps up across ice there from Carson.
Good intensity so far from the Sirens. They've had certainly the run of the last 5 minutes of this game.
Here's Gallagher, was just chipping that up to Carson. Grgovic picks that up in front of the Ducks bench. Watched by 2 Sirens players, and the Ducks now will get it out through Carson. Over to Parrington. Can the captain match it? Lucy Parrington with a move, and it bounces on and dangerously, nearly on Lakari, and she was forced to make a big save as Lucy Parrington made a move, and the Sydney Sirens threw that on their own net.
Parrington just lost an edge there briefly and lost control of it. But as a result, just one of those really loose bubblers in front of the goaltender that's so dangerous to the goalie. I think they've got it. Loose side of that puck, and anything can happen.
And that was Grgovic diving in, trying to poke that in. You can see what it means to her. Lots of energy early here for the Ducks. So here come the Sirens looking to add to their lead. It's Schmidt who sends that deep. Johnson will get to it first on the Ducks, being watched there by McConey. Pokes that past Schmidt, and here comes Paige Cameron. She's pushed aside. Puck behind the net here for the Sirens, pinned up there by Ebony Rama, who got that forward to Prosick. Prosick up to Nelson, stopped there by Lang. Johnson used her body just to shield the puck, able to send that across over to Rama. Here comes Nelson now, the Kiwi, wide shot, and there was daylight, but just missed the net.
Nelson showing some good prowess as well. The Ducks just a little bit on the heels in defence. They've been rattled on a couple of occasions and made some risky outlet passes they've been lucky to get away with so far. The Sirens will swoop on them if they're not careful.
And here they come. It's the Sirens, 3 wide, 3-on-2. Schmitz back over to their teammate. Saved there by Carson. Coming up big as Newark was staring her down, looking to double the lead.
So it was a good 3-on-2 rush there for the Sirens. Lucky the Ducks had Carson there to cut it off. The two defenders doing the right thing, though, in that instance of making sure that they took away the passing options. Carson just had the one player to worry about on the shot.
So Newman, stolen, shot there by Brunt, and that missed the net. Here's Green, sends it forward, off the point is Ma, sends a shot, looking for a tip, but a great pad save and even better glove by Janelle Carson as she makes yet another save.
That's 9 shots so far, possibly 10, I should say, on to Carson so far. They've all been pretty desperate saves at the moment. The Bucks will need to pick it up.
Ma shovels it deep for the Sirens. Tran knocks Caruso off the puck, but Caruso steals it, comes in out in front. Down is Carson. And there was a puck loose for a second, but was able to get a mid on it.
See, the Sirens are doing a great job of getting into the slot with a lot of numbers. And just being a little bit more physical. The Ducks are a little bit bigger, but the Sirens certainly physically assertive and doing a good job of pushing the Ducks out of the pond.
So here's the big line for Sydney. Edney and Guttormson out here against the Ducks. So just a warning there by the linesman for setting it up. And Edney wins that one forward. Tied up effectively there by the Ducks. Hoyler. Still with it here is Guttormson. Looking to center it off a skate, off the post. And Carson down and able to cover it. We're going to have to check this on the CCM All-Out replay. What danger in front of Carson. Edney was able to center that, and it bounced off the stick of Tran, and what a stick save there by Carson as she shut the door and kept this a one-goal game.
Speaking of Carson, that was the other one stealing the puck through nicely on a rush. He's caught up high, though, which making sure the Ducks can get back and cover it.
Lucy Parrington sends it across over to Grgovic. Grgovic falls down but is able to get the puck over there for Ryland, who had her stick lifted by Guttormson. 4 years playing over in Div 1 hockey in America, in Minnesota. She definitely knows how to play, and you can see now, hands up, there's a delayed penalty here to the Ducks. Guttormson back to Edney. Edney behind the net. Lakari to the bench. It's 6-on-5, and the puck squirted out to the slot area, but Georgia Carson touched that, and the Sirens will go to their first power play of the game.
That's Grgovic. I think it was a trip. We'll find out for sure in a second. That's what it looked like from here. As the referee gives us an indication, Grgovic will be sitting 2 or less. Obviously, she'd like it to be 2. Yeah, it's a hook on Grgovic. Under a lot of pressure.
So the Ducks 0 for 1 on the power play. Sydney now looking to see if they can add something here late in the first period. If you're watching the Melbourne Ice and the Adelaide Rush over in Adelaide, there's been a shorthanded goal and a power play goal, so anything can happen. Sydney Sirens have this now back on the point. Gets it over to Lang. Lang winds, passes it over. Edney winds, takes it in front. Puck's loose and just not able to get to it was Guttormson as she had Carson beat. Lang, the Canadian, walks the line. She's going to swap around with Edney. Give it over to the captain. Shot, looking for a shot pass there from McConey, but not able to direct that in. Lang now back on the point, winds, takes a shot. Blocked there by Cameron, but regrouped here by the Sirens. Edney, centering pass off the skate there of Newmark. Rims that across to Edney. Plenty of pressure here on the power play for the Sirens. Edney over to Lang. Back to Edney, who takes the shot, and that one just wide off the stick of Cameron.
Edney's had a couple of opportunities there where she's elected to go cross ice and try and get a tip in instead of take the shot. And from where we're standing, it might have actually been a pretty good option to take it. Unselfish play from her, but possibly a little bit overly generous.
So the Ducks, Hoyler, not able to get that out. Off the bench was Brunt, but nice clear there by Prosick. You can hear the stick taps there by Grgovic as there's only 38 seconds left on her penalty.
The Ducks have done a pretty good job so far on the kill, but there's been great forechecking pressure and attacking opportunities by the Sirens. They've changed lines now. They've got fresh legs on.
Schmitz tied up there by Hoyler. Kicks it forward. Hoyler sends it out to the point. No one there for the Sirens, so the Ducks able to clear. Hoyler has the puck knocked off her stick, and here are the Sirens. In here, Schmitz, wide shot, and closing the arm there is Janelle Carson as she's able to cover up and make a big save there on the penalty kill.
That's a big one there from Carson. The shot was fired just above the pad underneath the blocker, and she managed to shut it down pretty quickly. It was a good shot from a pretty decent angle too. Nice piece of play there by the Sirens. I saw the opportunity. The Ducks got caught a little bit high on the kill, and they'd left the slot unguarded.
So face off here, won by the Siren. There's only a few seconds left here on the power play. And now cleared, it's Grgovic back on the ice, and she joins the play. Lakari comes out, rims that away, out of the reach of Grgovic. And the Ducks not able to keep it in, so here come the Siren. Through York. Brunt going to the net. York pushed back there by Green. Comes back to the point, a shot there, saved by Carson. Parrington here for the Ducks being watched by Schmitz. She's gonna go take that behind her net, still chased there by the Siren, and now able to get it out there to Carson.
Brunt was just offside there. She would have been tempted to play that puck as Carson flicked it back.
Hungarian international there, Grgovic took a big shot on, blocked there by the Sirens, who are now able to clear out the zone. So late here in the first period, the Sydney Sirens up 1-0 from a goal by their captain. And here she is again. Edney into the corner, centers the puck, and a shot there missed by Payne, and the Ducks able to escape. Nelson was pinned up there by the Sirens and was only able to shovel it forward as the Sydney defense. Guttormson, watched by Gallagher, gets away. Guttormson into the slot, shot, rings that one forward. Was Arps and the Sydney Sirens. Close, but no cigar.
Guttormson made that one almost out of nothing. She was being well covered there by Niv Gallagher, but just pushed her off and ran past. And the puck in the end is flicked up high by Guttormson again, who's just showing so much strength. And, she made that shot, that opportunity out of just about nothing there, Gossie. She was all wrapped up and just shoved the smaller Gallagher out of the way.
That's a shot, a great shot that beat a great goalie, but just couldn't beat the post.
Didn't beat an extra layer of paint.
I know what you're thinking, Janelle. That's all you gave her, right? I know I've used that line a few times in beer league. It is definitely true. But still 1-0 here, and Sydney looking to add to their lead late. Just over 5 minutes remaining here in the first period. Caruso got that forward over to Brunt. Brunt rims that across, intercepted there by Cameron, but coming in is York, and she steals it. Puck back to the point for Ma, who goes D to D. And nice job there by the Ducks. And here comes Green. Green, watched by Ma, and a great defensive play by the Siren defender. Broke that up.
And Ma saw the threat and hit the Jets. And shut down Green nicely. It's exactly what she needed to do. It was a nice little opportunity. It was a bit of a mishandle there by Apps across on the other side. Just allowed that chance for the Ducks to get away. But Green wasn't quite able to get away from the desperate back-check work there of Bellamar, who shut it down.
And for those keeping score over in Adelaide, the Ice have just scored a power play goal. It's live today in the AWIHL. Here are the Sirens. Schmitz coming in on the left wing. She's blocked there by Cameron, and a little bit too much body there as she's going to be going for 2 or less on the body check.
Cameron will be sitting 2. It's an interesting call, that one. You're always allowed to contest the puck. It's sometimes a bit of a line call as to whether or not there was contesting puck or just playing the body. In that case, the referee has decided that Cameron was a little bit overly aggressive. It's what the Ducks need to do, though, I think, Gossie. They've been pushed around and out-muscled so far throughout most of this period by the Sirens. They're going to have to up the physicality a little bit just to even it up.
Well, the
but,
first
obviously,
thing
there's a fine line.
The first thing they're going to have to do is get through this penalty kill, as the Sirens looked great on the last one, but weren't able to score, and a great save off a deflection there by Carson.
Yeah, Carson so far up to 15 saves for this period. Sorry, 14 saves and the 1 goal through. She's got a pretty good save percentage, .929 so far through the period, as Cameron will have to sit this another 1 minute and 55 seconds. The Ducks want to get out of the zone. Only 4 minutes and 22 seconds to go in the period.
Guttormson sends it back over there for Newmark. She's got Lang. That was here on the point. If you remember on the last power play, it was Lang and Edney playing catch here, looking for shots. And Edney back to Lang. Lang winds, fakes the shot, gets it over to Newmark. Back to Lang, who takes one and misses wide. First to it, though, are the Sirens through their captain and goal scorer, Edney. Back to the Canadian Lang. Back to Edney. Edney shot, scores! The Sirens captain does it again, this time on the power play, as the Sirens go up 2-0 here late in the first period.
And that's the opportunity that Edney's had a number of, certainly throughout the earlier part of this period. She's been quite off to left unmarked in that Alex Ovechkin memorial shooting position just above the face-off dot on the left-hand side. It gets right onto her forehand, and she saw a net that time and decided it was time not to go for a tip-in, but take the shot herself. And as a result, she tickles the twine, and the scoreboard is incremented once more for the Sirens.
So 2-0 for the Sirens, and the shot count looking even more lopsided, 15-1.
The Ducks will have a lot to do in the first intermission.
Import there, Lang takes a shot that went high. Kept in here by the Sirens, pinned up against the wall. Puck comes back out now and goes cross ice, and Prosick now has Nelson and just out of her reach, and she'll go into the far side corner and collect that. Pinned up there by the Sirens. Rowe stopped up. Nelson shovels that back and collected here, and the Sirens are out through Schmitz. Schmidt stops up, looked to get that back to McConey, but it was intercepted by the Kiwi Nelson. She'll come in on the right wing, take a shot, blocked there by Arps. So Newmark now knocks that away from Johnson, walks in on the offside, takes a shot, and a great save there by Carson.
Good use of speed there by the Sirens. As they're crossing the blue line, they're accelerating a bit more and just catching the Ducks D a little bit flat-footed. Not used to the speed. It is an adaptation, and it will take a period or two for the Ducks to get used to the speed. They've done a lot of training, but there's no substitute for the game.
Ma shovels it forward. It's collected by York, intercepted there by Green, pushed forward there for Cashin. She's all alone as she comes in here, takes a shot, and that goes wide, but gloved by Likari.
Likari had no trouble with that one. It wasn't going to go in, but still a good option just to shut it down. Make sure there's no loose puck behind the net. The Sirens have been pretty good from the face-off so far after an early dominance by the Ducks. But Sirens picked it up, certainly, and they've been getting good possession from it.
So Green sent that behind the net. She'll collect it now. Looking for a teammate, not able to find Johnson as the Ducks forced to regroup now in their own zone. Johnson pinned up there on the wall. It's poked forward by Cashin. Arps sends it back to her D partner, Ma. But a great forecheck there by Green. Separates Ma from the puck. Centered there and intercepted there by the Australian national team player, Arps. And that stopped a grade A opportunity. Caruso tried to split the D. Collects it. Goes forward. Shot there. Stopped by Cashin and sent forward. So here's Brett Mindham. Sends that deep, and the Ducks go for a change here with just over a minute left in the first period. A 2-0 game here for the Siren. Haller has it behind the net. Pushed there by Carson. Watched there by Guttormson. And Hoyler now shovels that forward there for Grgovic. If anyone's going to do it, it's going to be the Hungarian national. The import there for the Ducks takes a shot, and that just went wide.
Great recovery there by the Sirens, turning that attack into an immediate counter-attack. That's where they've been very effective so far.
Good poke check there by the captain. Parrington is going to keep this Ducks offensive chance alive. Puck there on the half wall, cleared out into the neutral zone, and first back will be Hoyler, but watched here by Payne. Time for one more opportunity here if you're the Ducks, but Gert Thompson able to steal this. She'll walk out in front, centers it. Nice job there by Stringer just to shovel that into a safer area. Thompson steals that, walks off the side, takes a shot, and another save there by Carson. Sounded like a broken record here in the first period.
Godolphin had a good bit of space there, and just in the end with a little bit of a shovelly backhand, just tried to chip it through the 5-hole, but Carson had that closed.
Sirens send that deep, and that should end it here for the first period as the Ducks get their feet wet in AWIHL action as the Sirens here take the lead.
Goaltenders in the league with 18 shots on her for 2 goals. So it's adapted to the cold climate here at IceHQ. They owned that period well and truly. Just the 1 shot on the net for the Ducks as the scorer sees it, whereas 18 for the Sirens for those 2 goals. The Ducks with a bit of work to do in the first intermission. They're going to have to work a lot on upping the intensity and just adapting to the speed. The Sirens have certainly brought it. They've come out hard and shown the Ducks what playing at the AWIHL level is all about. So we'll be back with you in about 8 minutes for the second period of this game 1 between the Melbourne Ducks and the Sydney Sirens.
This game is our canvas.
Our choice, our freedom.
It's my way.
And mine.
And mine.
And mine.
It's the only way.
The ice doesn't discriminate.
It doesn't see color or gender.
All it sees is 60 minutes of pure effort.
A pure fun.
On the ice, we might be enemies.
But in the end, we're all allies.
This game's for everyone.
No matter who you are,
No matter where we're from, we're all ready to hit the ice.
It's a gift. And it's a thief. It heals. It teaches. And it can be on your side. It can even fly. We can try to get ahead of it. But it marches on. Time. It can be measured in eras and accomplishments and historical milestones. CCM measures time by its impact. We are the past. We are the future. CCM, we are hockey.
To truly focus in this game, you have to block everything else out and embrace the familiar. At CCM, the Ribcore Trigger 9 Pro is designed for a quick release because this game can change in an instant. CCM, feel more.
With the JetSpeed FT8 Pro skates, speed comes from the right balance of technology, comfort, and determination, and a personal drive to continually outdo yourself. We are untouchable. Our eFlex 7 goalie equipment is designed so you can be quick and reactive, because all it takes is a split second for their highlight to become yours.
Saved by Demko.
We are stealing the show.
The CCM FTW skate is made for athletes. It is specially built for women, by women, so while it's designed for all women's feet, it's also tailor-made for you. CCM, we are hockey.
Leaders may be born, but breaking records comes from the quickest release. The Ribcore Trigger 10 Pro provides effortless loading for a stealthy shot, perfect if you want to outdo yourself this year. We are goal scorers.
Did you know there are 218,952 female hockey players in the world? They all have their own strengths, their own ambitions, their own styles, and they all need their equipment to fit their way. No two are exactly alike. That's why CCM designs and develops equipment for each one of them, because they all have their own feel for the game. CCM, feel more.
In minor midget, I switched to CCM, and ever since then, it was a decision I made.
Innovation takes more than a light touch. It takes hard work. With CCM's revolutionary technology, the Vision Stick is designed for easier loading and a lightning-quick release, so your game shines. CCM, we are hockey.
Power isn't a force from above. Power is made. CCM designs for power. That's why the Tax XF Pro Stick is such a powerful and accurate shot. CCM, feel more. Ability comes from strength. Strength comes from confidence. Confidence comes from preparation. Prepare yourself with Tax XF Pro Protective. CCM, feel more.
The helmet's been fantastic. I think first and foremost from just like whether it's with the and just the comfort of putting it on and just the way it feels and getting that specialization with the specifics on it, doing some of the measurements beforehand and really getting that comfort and fit and obviously level of protection dialed in and you notice that instantly right away, and obviously I had a traumatic incident involving my head and an injury this playoffs, and you know, I feel very fortunate to be where I am.
Welcome back to IceHQ, where we have seen the first period. The siren is ringing, that's for sure. Or perhaps the siren is howling. It was a great period for the Sydney Sirens. 18 shots on the net, 2 goals, both to the irrepressible Sarah Edney. One on the power play with 3.5 minutes to go, and earlier on, but also some very unselfish play from her as well, trying to set up a lot of tip-ins and play-ins. The Ducks with a lot of work to do to catch up with the intensity at the moment. They're being outsped and outmuscled by the Sirens. Gossie, can they come back in the second?
I think there's been some great opportunities there for the Ducks. They need to get more pucks on. She really hasn't been faced with any dangerous opportunities there for the Ducks.
If I'm not mistaken, you just played the biggest cliche in hockey that can be done. If I'm not mistaken, get more pucks in deep and pucks on the net and keep the game simple. Something like that.
No, exactly. But I think pucks, you've had one shot on net.
That's true.
You're trying to feel yourself into the game, right? So for the Ducks, get some shots on early. Try to check. Anything can happen. You look at the out-of-town scoreboard right now, the Adelaide Rush, they went up on a big lead. They were 3-1 in the second period. Ducks came back. Melbourne Ice came back, scored 3 goals. It's now 4-3. So a big second period for a Melbourne team away. Let's try to get a big second period here for the local Melbourne team tonight. Sydney Sirens win over to her D partner. Sent forward now for Payne. Takes that over the blue line. Looking to center to Edney, but intercepted nicely there by Grgovic. Puck kept in by Guttormson. She's been great here on this line with Edney.
Certainly created a lot of opportunities. And the Ducks will need to match the physicality too. They're not quite as big as the Sirens. They're going to need to lift the game in that regard.
Grgovic stole that off Guttormson, and she'll now come out with speed through the neutral zone. Harrington, the captain, tried to cut inside and fell down in a big collision there. Guttormson connecting with Johnson, but no penalty on the play. Parrington pinned up there by Guttormson. Mayer jumps in and activates. Johnson, who had that big collision with Guttormson, now sends that deep, and the captain, Edney, for the Sirens, intercepted that.
And Brian Johnson, she certainly won't shy away from the physicality if she needs to do it. That's what the Ducks are going to have to do, just get a bit rougher.
So Sydney deep in the Duck zone, able to get full line change, and Newmark pinned that in, and the Ducks finally get that out off the stick of Johnson, and she'll go off for a change. Sydney import Lang, the Canadian, has it in her zone. She'll backhand that up on the wall for Schmidt, stolen there by Newmark, and it's now 2-on-2 the other way. Newmark through the neutral zone, takes a shot, they score! What looked like a nothing play there by Newmark. She threw that in on net, and Carson couldn't see it, and the puck went in off the back of the net, off the stick of what looks like their number 19 assistant captain, Catherine McConey, standing in front of the net.
And it was a shot from a tight angle. Good one to get over the shoulder there of Carson. She's going to get a glove out in time to pick it up. Pretty much. It looked like the Ducks were back there in numbers, but a good shot under a lot of pressure.
It's the classic play when you're coming across that Royal Road and you throw it back the way you came, and McConey was standing in front of the net and was able to get a stick on it, and before Carson knew a thing, the puck was in the back of the net, and the score is now 3-0 here for the Siren. Ducks with some offensive pressure here after the goal, sends that deep. Forechecking here is Cashin, but not able to get there as York was able to keep that away. Newman circling here for the Ducks, pinned up by Green. Newman now walks out of the corner, looked to center it. No one was there, and the Sirens blocked that centering pass.
There's a wall of white jerseys. There was not much there for Newman to get across to, and also no one in the slot for the Ducks.
So puck shoveled deep here. It's Brunt keeping away from Green, who leaves with her stick. Recycles that over to the near side. Caruso chips that past the pinch of Parrington. Here's Hoyler for the Ducks, coming now in through the neutral zone with speed. 1-on-3, still with it. Takes a tumble and stolen there by the Siren, and they'll now break out the other way. It's just out of the reach of York, and that will go the length of the ice and called for icing.
We haven't had very many icings so far in this game. It might even be the first one. not familiar with the rule, the puck gets brought all the way back down to a defensive zone face-off for the Sirens. Now, defensive zone face-offs, you might think that's a particularly bad thing for a defensive team, but it actually often represents a fantastic opportunity for a counter-attack. You'll see the attacking teams pinching right in close, which means they have to turn around. And if the Sirens can get a breakaway here, it's a great scoring chance.
So here in the attacking zone, the Ducks looking to get their first of the season. And the puck now on the stick of the captain, Parrington, not able to get that past Herrick, and to Ryland, sends that, but wide. York now tries to chip that past Gallagher. Only momentarily, though, is she able to keep it in as out comes Mayer here for the Siren. Ryland stops that attack and sends it over to an open wing, and Herring first back here for the Siren.
There's a lot of room and space there. Nice forechecking though. Carson got onto it and broke that one down.
Comes back to the captain, Parrington. She'll just shovel that deep. Grgovic runs into Mayer in front of the net, and a pinch by the Ducks defense keep this attack alive. Herring, though, for the Sirens, will get it out, and she's got some speed. Watch there from Parrington. Drops it now for Mayer. Mayer sends that deep for the Sirens. Ryland back for the Ducks. Guttormson starts the forecheck. The big line out here for the Siren. They've got 2 of the 3 Siren goals. But up the other way, the import, Nelson here for the Ducks. Stopped by the Sirens, and Yates wasn't able to collect the loose puck as she came late into the zone. Nice passing play, exposes the Ducks. It's Guttormson with the shot. Big save there by Carson.
Guttormson with a great opportunity. It was a cross-ice pass through a very tight gap.
Edney in the corner has Guttormson. Will walk out herself, takes the backhand. Saved by Carson, and the rebound put wide by Payne. So pinned here in the far corner. It's 2-on-2. Briar Johnson was able to shovel that back to her D partner, and Cameron looking to skate this out for the Ducks. Watched by Edney. Able to just shovel it away, but Edney walks out and takes a shot looking for the hat trick, but stopped there by Carson.
You might see this on the replay if we get a top-down display of it. And we're going to get that one now. You can see as Edney comes across. Just ran out of room, and fortunately for the Ducks, Carson was there with a well and truly closed 5-hole. It wasn't going through.
Great positioning there by the goaltender. It's so crucial to keep yourself closed, as Edney coming across with speed, just looking to open up those legs, and if she did, she would have had a goal. So puck now comes into the Ducks zone. It's Hollier who gets there first. She's being watched by Newmark. Curls away, uses her great skating technique there to rim that up the wall, but it's stolen here by the Siren. It's Arps on the point. Shovels it deep, looking to initiate the cycle. Centering pass, and Arps just missed the one-timer. As you could hear the Sirens calling from the bench in dismay.
Wyndham just blowing a tire there. Sorry, Green just blowing a tire on the way in. Yeah, Ducks being isolated a lot when they try and get attacks. It's just that extra couple of seconds of speed and intensity that the Siren are playing with at the moment.
So Ryland in her own zone will go D to D, looking for Gallagher. Give Gallagher a great young star here for the Ducks. Always composed and coming out into the offense now. It's Green who will just shovel that in on Lakari, a bouncing puck, and the Ducks go for a change, and she'll leave it for her team to skate it out.
That one's going to count as a shot. It did actually go through to the point where the goalie would have had to make a save. Tricky little bouncer. Sometimes those ones can embarrass you, but not that time.
Behind the net here for the Sirens. Not able to connect, so Nelson out of the wall, takes a shot, blocked there by the Sirens defense, and they come out 3 wide. A 3-on-2. Briar Johnson stops that, able to shovel it past the blue line, and the Ducks come the other way. It's Nelson, winds, shoots, and saved by Lakari.
It's the first genuine scoring opportunity there the Ducks have had for quite some time. Nelson creating that one through the neutral zone. Forced to take a shot from a distance up high, so in the end a fairly routine save there for Lakari. That did make the goaltender have to actually do some work, which is good for the point of view of the Ducks. 3 shots now on the net with 12 minutes and 52 seconds to go in the second.
Parrington and Grugovic just having a little bit of a chat prior to the puck drop. Looks like they are going to have to make a decision as to what the plan is, and it looks like she's just going to try to pull it back to her captain. It's all mute, though, as the Sydney Sirens win that face-off, and it's Lang who got it to the point but kept in by Johnson. Walks past York, just turns around to control the puck, tried to center it. It's kept by Carson. Puck's loose, and that's collected by the Canadian. So here comes Lang. Chips that past Johnson. Goes in and chases in her own dump. Looks to center that and intercepted nicely by the Ducks defender, Cameron. She's pinned up by Guttormson. Puck still on the wall. It's Guttormson and Parrington. Guttormson leaves it for Edney, who centers it there for Payne. Shot saved by Carson.
Carson lucky there. It was just a little bit lost on the rebound. There was a good juicy chance there for the Siren if they could get it.
Guttormson back to Edney. Edney shoots, she scores! The Sydney captain with the hat trick. And what a play there by Guttormson to get it back to her captain. This duo are going to connect a lot this season. And the leading scorer for the Sydney Sirens last season and captain now up to 3 goals here in the first game.
And a great goal there from the result of just sustained forechecking pressure. Every time the Ducks got the puck, they were collapsed down deep. They didn't have any outlets, allowing the Siren just to keep pouring on the pressure. And as you say, Gossie, get pucks in deep. Put pucks on the net, and that's what the Siren are doing, and the Ducks are not at the moment.
Every time Guttormson and Edney are on the ice, the Siren look dangerous. The Ducks are going to have to find an answer for that duo. Schmidt now here for the Sirens, gets it up to Arp. She activates off the point. Back there is Hoyler, who just shovels that up the wall. Green leaves it for Newman. Schmitz intercepts that one, goes back to her D, collects it now in front of the Ducks bench.
Ducks caught offside, they have to go back and reset.
Newmark now through the neutral zone into the attacking zone for the Sirens, takes a shot, goes wide. Schmitz back to Newmark, centers that one, misses absolutely everyone, and goes down the length of the ice.
No icing the call. The Sirens getting there before the puck. So they'll continue their breakout. A bit of a turnover through the top of the defensive zone. They're creating a little bit of an opportunity for the Ducks.
Sirens get it forward there for Edney. She's already got 3. Wines takes a shot, kick save, and what a toe save there by Carson. Stolen right off the stick of McConey as she was looking for her second.
More sustained pressure though. The first save being made, but that's where the Siren are really capitalising on sustained pressure in the defensive zone.
That has to be the save of the game so far, sticking out that left pad and robbing McConey. The Ducks down by 4 here. Shots 25-3, looking to create some kind of excitement, but here comes Guttormson. Through the neutral zone, over there, takes a shot wide by Payne. Stolen here by Grgovic. Not able to find her teammate, and this is just going to allow the Sirens to regroup, recycle, and start again. The captain, Parrington, off the bench, walks in 4 Sirens on her and shoveled forward by Guttormson. Ryland will need to get there first, and she does.
Thompson with a nice job there, just picking up that puck coming through the top of the defensive zone as the Ducks tried to play it out, just showing you the risk that you take when you play cross-ice pass out of deep. Thompson was there for it.
Puck sent in on Carson, and she's seen enough. She wants her team to change. Again, long change here in the second period, so a smart play there to cover up and get her teammates a rest.
What we saw there, Gossie, from Guttormson was a great job of just taking away that cross-ice option for the Ducks, and they took it anyway, and as a result, the Siren managed to keep the puck in the offensive zone and create more scoring chances. The Ducks have got to clear the puck out cleanly. The safety of the boards is usually a good one.
Briar Johnson comes out of the corner there for the Ducks, and a big hit there by Caruso. And the Ducks are going to go to the power play. That looked like it could have been dangerous. But luckily, Briar Johnson up and doesn't seem any worse for wear.
I think she hit at an angle which could have been problematic, but didn't go head first into the boards. So no risk of any concussions. We take concussions, of course, a lot more seriously now than we used to in the old days. And it is a great thing to see that sports are starting to understand the risks of them and managing them better. But in that instance, nothing to be worried about.
So 0 for 1 so far on the power play are the Ducks. They come here on their second. It was the second power play of the game for the Sirens that broke this game out. Edney got her second of the game, and the Ducks look to add here. Here's Hoyler, the Kiwi international, behind the net. Stopped up there by the Sirens. Prosick activates off the point, takes the shot, and it just drops on the toe of Lakari as Prosick came close to getting the Ducks' first goal.
You get points for nearlies. That's a very, very nearly one, that one. I think Lakari had lost sight of it. You see here on the replay, it was from where we're standing, you could see the puck. It was underneath her pad.
That's one place where you just pray as a netminder because it's so easy for that to go past. Anyway, we regress. So here's Hoyler, shovels that forward. It's in the corner. Newmark's just going to rim that. Nice hand-eye there by Nelson, but Edney chases in. Edney tied up by Hoyler, shoveled in by Rama. No forecheck though, and first to it is going to be the Siren.
Ducks just a little bit disorganized there on that power play. The Siren will just dump the puck all the way down.
Right on net onto Carson, and she'll send that over to Cameron, being watched there by Newmark. Newmark, nice job just to create a little bit of separation, but Cameron was able to win that and get it over to Nelson. Nelson winds, shoots, looking to catch Lakari cheating, but a great save there by the Sydney netminder.
Ball stands up very high and blocks a lot of space in the net. Managed to catch that one quite comfortably in the end, but something good attacking chance there for the Ducks. Have had a couple of good shots in this power play. It's what they need if they can get a goal and just get a little bit more momentum going.
Yeah, not a bad play there though by Nelson. There's often daylight there on short side top shelf. Johnson fresh off drawing the penalty, pinned up there in the point. It comes back to Grgovic, who winds, takes a shot, and another great save there by Lakari, getting big.
That's the first time we've seen the cannon there be released by Grgovic. And it's going to score us some goals throughout the season, I think, by the look of it. On that occasion, though, he can get through.
So face off here by Grgovic, lost to Gatormson. It's cleared to the point, but kept in by Parrington, who takes a shot on, looking for Carson in front of the net. Carson tied up there by the Sirens. It pops out into the far side corner. It's Briar Johnson now getting it back to the captain on the point. Parrington over to Carson, back to Parrington. Takes a shot, a little knuckler. Steered aside there by Lakari. Rebound picked up by Johnson. Gets it back to the point. Carson, shot, deflected high, bouncer into the glove of Lakari.
And we have 3 seconds to go on the penalty to Caruso. And the Ducks need to be particularly mindful here in this occasion because Caruso will come on behind the play. And you can see Neve Gallagher just sitting right back and having a look. She knows it's coming. But if the Siren can chip it up to her, she comes out onto the ice. She creates a great scoring chance. But Gallagher back very, very wary, keeping an eye on that one.
And there it is, straight up to Caruso. Not able to corral that, and the Ducks send that deep and make one change just to get that clear. Puck into the neutral zone. It's Gallagher who fakes the shot, gets it over to Cashin. We'll send that deep. Sirens clear that down the length of the ice, out of the reach of Ryland, and that will be another icing. And the Ducks, who've looked better this period, are looking to add their first goal of the campaign and first official goal.
Well, they created a couple of good chances in that power play. It was the best one we've seen from them so far. Siren just a little bit pedestrian at times, giving them opportunities, but also some good forechecking by the Siren on one occasion to that as well. So couldn't get complacent.
Ryland takes a shot, blocked by Gatormson, sent that forward to Payne. It'll go down the length of the ice and forced to be shoveled wide there by Carson as the icing was waved off. Payne and Gallagher will battle in the corner, comes out in front and they score! Schmitz with the celebration was able to get the goal, and the Ducks now down by 5.
That one came from the defence challenging high there. Gallagher just got caught a little bit out of position on the race back, and the Sydney Siren racing down to beat the icing created that opportunity.
And, we called it early in the game. We called it early in the game. Schmitz, one of the young stars here for the Sirens, able to get her first of the season. And you can see the stick taps there from number 91, Lang, as well. And the Sirens seem to be finding their groove now. Ducks forced back into their zone. Shoveled forward there by Hoyler. Kept in there by the Sirens. Looking to center it, but stolen there by the Ducks. Stringer back in the defensive zone. The Ducks really needing to find a bench, and you can see Coach Jeremy Moore just chatting a little bit there to Green.
See, Stringer there with not too many options. All she could do really was just dump the puck down. She was surrounded by a wall of white jerseys and very little chance to do anything more but ice the puck. See if the Ducks can turn this one into a counter-attacking opportunity. They haven't won many face-offs since they did reasonably well to start off with. If they can get this one and turn it into a breakout, maybe they can catch the Sirens just on a bit of a pinch, or maybe being a little bit complacent. They've got a 5-goal buffer though, the Siren. They can afford to take it a little bit easy, but I don't think that's in their DNA.
Hoyler rims that across. Caruso, who has 2 assists tonight, shovels that back. Kiwi international here for the Ducks, the import, shovels that forward, not able to clear the zone. A great pinch there by the Siren. Rama came over to knock that off the stick of York. And the Ducks now work it up the right side. Good poke forward here. Nelson in. She's got Prosic going to the net, but a great stick check there by Ma to break up a scoring opportunity here for the Ducks. York the other way now for the Sirens. Gets it past Breyer, but Breyer was able to knock her off the puck. So here the Ducks with speed through the neutral zone. Grgovic drops it over for Carson. She tries to center that, and it's intercepted there by the Siren, and Brunt now looking to go the other way.
Harrington just caught offside there by a millimetre or two, but that's not what it needs to be.
Cameron now takes some space into the offensive zone. She's got Parrington back in the point, but elects to take it into the corner. Cameron tries to shield off the puck, but the experience of the national team defense, Arps, able to take that puck off the Ducks defender. Here comes Grgovic now, 1-on-2. She's got Parrington going to the net. Grgovic falls down, no penalty. And the Sirens able to regroup and create some space for Mayer.
An interesting thing here, Grgovic has blown a tire on a number of occasions. She's just trying to really carve, and she's put herself down on a number of occasions. That's by trying to turn perhaps just a smidge too hard, maybe not used to the ice here.
Herring shoveled that forward, and it comes back into the Duck zone. There have been some chances here for Melbourne, but the Sydney Sirens have been able to add 3 in the second period, and they now lead 5-0. Braun Cashin over the neutral zone into the net, takes a shot, that goes wide. Gallagher pinches and misses, and the puck comes all the way down into the Ducks defense.
Cashin there had one of the first bits of space that the Ducks have had in a little while.
Great forecheck there by Gatormson, shot, and a glove save, and a beauty! As Janelle Carson picks that one out of the air as Edney was looking to add her 4th.
I won't see this one on the replay from top down if we're lucky. There it is.
Just picks that one out, flashes the leather as Edney was looking to go top shelf where they keep the cookies from the kids.
3 minutes and 4 seconds to go in the second. 5-0 the lead to the Sydney Sirens.
With 3 minutes remaining here, the Ducks able to get that out into the neutral zone. Sirens shovel that forward. Cleared out, and here's Nelson. Not able to get that past Lang. Canadian keeps that one away from Yates. Chips that one off the wall. It's going to be kept in by Stringer, who shovels that deep. Intercepted there by Newmark, who gets it over to Lang. She has 3 assists so far tonight. Big game for the import. Hollier here for the Ducks. Skates that out of the wall, keeps that one aside. Will take it in with speed. 1-on-3. She's got Nelson, drops it for her. Rims that back around for Hoyler to pick up in the corner. The cycle's on Nelson behind the net. She's got Hoyler. And elects to shovel that deep for Yates to chase. Lang intercepted there by Prosek, but picked up by Newmark.
Prosek's been stuck out for a long time on this shift. She had a couple of chances, but she's pretty low on gas now.
Lang over to Newmark, centered and a shot, they score! Nothing Carson could do there as McConey gets her second of the game off a great feed by Newmark. And Lang gets her 4th assist of the game.
And you can see a little bit about why that happened. The Ducks were stuck out there. I think Prosek was stuck out for a long time on that shift. She had 2 chances where she blasted in the slot. She'd been out on the ice for well over a minute. And as a result, when the turnover happened, she just didn't have the legs on her to sprint back and shut that one down, which created that little bit of extra space. It's not Prosek's fault, but the Ducks have got to shorten up those shifts and keep their intensity high if they're going to contest the Siren and get one back.
So 3 goals to Edney, 2 goals to McConey, and 4 apples there for Lang. The Sydney Sirens truly doing it all here late in the second period in Melbourne.
Yeah, just on 90 seconds to play in the period.
Ma pinches, and a great little move by Grgovic. Exits the Ducks. It's Parrington, drop for Carson. Carson looking for Grgovic, but not able to get a stick on it, and here's Gmortson. Payne to Edney, drop there for Guttormson, enters into the offensive zone with speed, good poke check, able to corral the loose puck there was the Siren. Cycled there, centered. Payne not able to get a shot on.
Thompson there with some excellent individual skill. That was a puck that was about a metre behind her, and she managed to play it forwards. Beautiful stick work.
Parrington gets it back to Cameron, looks for Nelson. She'll shovel that in, and a easy stop there for Lakari. Caruso to Ma, over to Payne. Sends it to an open wing. Rama tried to tie up Edney, but she was able to get that deep and go for a change. Gallagher, a forward to Nelson. She takes a shot, and that goes wide. Puck carried out there. Payne up to Caruso. Caruso over to York. And the puck sent to the far side wing. Brunt, shot on, blocked. Puck's loose, and that'll end it there for the second period.
So at the end of the second period, over the Duck. It started off pretty well for the Ducks. They got a bit of pressure early on, but towards the end they got a bit tired, and they're starting to long shift a bit, which happens when you're tired and trying to adapt to the speed and pressure. And I've got to say at the moment, Gossie, that the Siren are out-muscling and out-pacing the Ducks pretty much across the board. There's been a few occasions, though, throughout that period when Prosek flying in and getting loose in the slot on a couple of occasions, just exposing a few weaknesses there in the Siren defence, but they couldn't get the pass across, and they tried to do it one time too many, and as a result they were too tired to get back, and they gave away that 6th goal. 29 shots on the net for the Siren, so Janelle Carson in the net for the Ducks being lit up, but doing a pretty good job all the same. But penalties too certainly didn't help, but that's the way it goes, Gossie. When you're under pressure, you're going to leave penalties away. But the penalty on Caruso did give the Ducks a couple of good scoring opportunities, but they couldn't quite capitalise on it. One which very, very nearly went under the pad of Lakari. It was very close indeed, which would have brought the crowd into the game here at IceHQ. We've got a healthy crowd here. The bar upstairs is looking pretty full, which is not a bad thing at all. But I'm going to say, Gossie, there's been some pretty great play there by Sarah Edney, but the combination of Edney and Guttormson has been superb. And Guttormson earlier on with a miraculous pass retrieval from behind her and then just getting past all the pressure and just coming through and creating sustained pressure. And that's where it's been. It's just been constant, sustained pressure on the Ducks by the Siren, who are at the moment all over them like a rash.
Yeah, Guttormson's looked great. It's not so much on the score sheet with only the 1 assist, but her skating has definitely been a cut above most of the other ladies on the ice. Listen, very different conversations in the dressing room, I'm sure, right? Yeah. The Sydney Siren, just more of the same. You're wearing down the Ducks. If you're Jeremy Moore and you're looking at that Melbourne team, what are you trying to talk to them about in terms of bringing a little bit of more excitement into this third period?
Well, you've got to be thinking, first thing you've got to do is shorten your shifts and keep the intensity up. Temptation is when you're under pressure to stay out on the ice longer and try and do more work, but that's what your brain tells you. Sorry, what your heart tells you, but your brain's got to tell you something else. And your brain's got to tell you to keep your shifts shorter and keep the intensity up higher, because that's what the Siren are doing. They're just faster at the moment, and when you're tired, you cannot keep up with that pace. It's really that simple. It's a hard thing to do because as humans, our clocks are disastrous. We're really bad at telling the time. They have to do in the third. They've got to keep that intensity higher and shorten their shifts, and we'll see if they can get one on the board.
It's a gift. And it's a thief. It heals. It teaches. And it can be on your side. It can even fly. We can try to get ahead of it. But it marches on. Time. It can be measured in eras and accomplishments and historical milestones. CCM measures time by its impact. We are the past. We are the future. CCM, we are hockey.
To truly focus in this game, you have to block everything else out and embrace the familiar. At CCM, the Ripcord Trigger 9 Pro is designed for a quick release because this game can change in an instant. CCM, feel more.
With the JetSpeed FT8 Pro skates, speed comes from the right balance of technology, comfort, and determination, and a personal drive to continually outdo yourself. We are untouchable. Our eFlex 7 goalie equipment is designed so you can be quick and reactive, because all it takes is a split second for their highlight to become yours.
Saved by Demko.
We are stealing the show.
The CCM FTW skate is made for athletes. It is specially built for women, by women, so while it's designed for all women's feet, It's also tailor-made for you. CCM, we are hockey.
Leaders may be born, but breaking records comes from the quickest release. The Ribcore Trigger 10 Pro provides effortless loading for a stealthy shot, perfect if you want to outdo yourself this year. We are goal scorers.
Did you know there are 218,952 female hockey players in the world? They all have their own strengths, their own ambitions, their own styles, and they all need their equipment to fit their way. No two are exactly alike. That's why CCM designs and develops equipment for each one of them. Because they all have their own feel for the game. CCM. Feel more.
In minor midget, I switched to CCM, and ever since then, it was the best decision I made.
Innovation takes more than a light touch. It takes hard work. With CCM's revolutionary technology, the Vision Stick is designed for easier loading and a lightning-quick release, so your game shines. CCM, we are hockey.
Power isn't a force from above. Power is made. CCM designs for power. That's why the Tax XF Pro Stick is such a powerful and accurate shot. CCM, feel more. Ability comes from strength. Strength comes from confidence. Confidence yourself with Tax XF Pro Protective. CCM, feel more.
Welcome back to IceHQ for the third period of the clash between the Sydney Sirens and the Melbourne Ducks. So far, 6-0 the lead to the Sirens, 29 shots on the net to 6 to the Ducks. Outstanding game so far for the Sirens by, in particular, Sarah Edney with a hat-trick. 3 goals to her. But also Shelley Guttormson, who has been superb. Only the 1 assist so far, but fantastic playmaking and beautiful sustained pressure through the middle of the ice on many, many occasions, forcing the Ducks to have little option but to dump the puck down the other end and be stuck in defence for the vast majority of the game. The Ducks with a lot of work to do in this third. If they can get one back and get themselves on the scoreboard, that would be a great boost for them. But I've got to say, Gossie, at the moment, it has been all Sirens. They've outsped and outmuscled the Ducks and forced the Ducks to panic. So a lot for the Ducks to do in the third. Hopefully they've had a bit of a chance to regroup in the intermission and find out what it is that they need to do in order to get a bit more composure and see if they can challenge the Sirens and make this third period a little bit more of an even contest. The Ducks had a few chances during a power play early on in the second, including one very, very close chance which very nearly snuck under the pads there of Lakari, but it didn't quite go and don't quite sign enough to disturb the scoreboard. Lakari has stood tall on a number of occasions and made a couple of good saves too. So we'll be underway very shortly in the third and final period of this first game for the Ducks in the AWIHL.
And we're starting off with the big line out for the Sirens. It's Edney, who has 3 tonight, facing off against Grgovic. It's won by the Ducks, and Hoyler now activates, but has that knocked off her stick by Edney. Puck now in the Siren zone. They regroup. Payne has it on the near side wing. Off the skate there. And in forecheck is Carson. Guttormson head up, looking for a teammate, gets past Dixon. Guttormson sends that centered, but it was stolen by Tran, and that shoveled up the wall.
She was looking for someone loose in the slot, but the Ducks managed to get back in time and shut that one down. But they find themselves in a familiar position now, the Ducks. Not able to do much more except fling the puck down the other end and hope. And as a result, they'll be brought back for an icing with 19 minutes and 12 seconds to go in the third. Georgia Carson playing in an unaccustomed role for the Ducks as a forward. Fairly effective.
So the face-off here, the Sirens make the change, and a big face-off here for the Ducks import, Grgovic. She wins that face-off, is just pushed aside there by Carson. Hoyler will pick that up here for the Ducks. She'll skate through the neutral zone with speed, has it on the backhand, looks to center it, and it goes through everyone, and shot on there by Carson, and saved there by Lakari, as Grgovic was there in the slot looking to pounce on any rebound.
Emily Rama stuck there as well for the Ducks, doing a good job of just amping up the physicality a little bit, not allowing herself to be pushed around. But she did get pushed over, but that's okay. But they've got to get that level of physical contest up the Ducks. They can't afford to let the Sirens push them around as they have so far.
Tran goes D to D over to Johnson, fakes the shot, shovels that off the wall. No one there though, and it's collected by the Sirens, and Schmitz gives chase. Prosick now the other way here for the Ducks. Stops on the wall, tries to shovel that past the Sirens. Great job to pin that up, and now Parrington will give chase. Lang in on Parrington. Nelson to the captain. Gets it back to Johnson. She'll wind, send that back to Parrington, but intercepted there by Lang, and here she goes. The Sirens over Schmitz, who has 1 goal tonight. Looked to center that back to Lang, but she had already circled back to get the D-zone coverage.
That was a great chance there too for the Siren. They had a 3-on-1 rush opportunity. Those sorts of rushes the Ducks have been letting go just a little bit too much, which I think one is a little bit too much of them, but the pass not quite able to end up on the stick of Schmitz, who was beautifully positioned. It's only a matter of millimetres, but that's the way it goes. That's the sort of play that we've seen a lot from the Sirens so far throughout this game. Doing a good job of coming in on odd player rushes and creating those great scoring opportunities.
So face off to the right of Carson. It's Nelson facing off against Brunt. Nelson wins the face-off. Tran had that stolen off her by Caruso. She left that, and the cycle starts for the Siren. Johnston picks it up for the Ducks, rims it up off the wall. Prosick gets it over to Parrington. Parrington sends it forward to Nelson and will go to the net. Nelson centers it, in a deflection there, goes high and off out of the way of Parrington.
Parrington nearly there with the chance to bat it down out of the sky for what would have been very close to a high sticking goal. But she couldn't quite get onto it.
Here comes Ma, drops it for Caruso. She takes a shot, and a glove save there by Carson.
Carson making easy work of that one. She had a good sight line on the puck on that shot in from Caruso. And she'll be quite happy just to glove that one from the sky quite comfortably. See if the Ducks can turn this face-off into a breakout.
The big line out here for the Siren. Edney facing off against Newman. Newman wins that. It's stolen by Guttormson, though. She'll shovel that into the corner. Payne will activate and steal that. Ryland pins it, and Guttormson walks out in front. Shot saved by Carson. And a great job there by Newman to knock it off the Sirens import. Mayer now back, is not able to keep that away from Cashin, and here comes Green.
Good four-checking pressure there by Cashin. She had 3 white jerseys. She managed to disrupt it quite well. Good play there by Bron.
Gallagher pins that up on the wall, only momentarily though, as the Siren do get the puck deep. Ryland here for the Ducks, chased by Payne, turns around and backhands that up to Cashin. Activating off the point, the Sirens. There was Mayer back across, and Green able to clear the zone.
Edney luckily there for Gallagher. Edney was just caught offside briefly and had to go back and reset, but still managed to force Gallagher back.
Herring activates, centers that one, and a great job there by Ryland, knocks that away from the slot area. Puck goes down, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough for icing. Coming through the neutral zone now, blocked up there by Carson. It's Newmark now for the Sirens, walks the line, looks to center it, intercepted there by Carson, pushes that forward to Grgovic. She's 1-on-2. Carson now enters the zone, gives her support going to the net. Grgovic behind, centers, knocked off by the Sirens over to the wall.
Carson in the right place, but Grgovic was just too well marked by too many white jerseys to get much of a play out of that one.
Puck wasn't able to get back for Carson, and now the Siren will get the puck out of the zone. It's collected by Newmark. She's 1-on-2. Here comes the Sirens with a shot, rings it off the iron as McConey was looking to join the hat trick party tonight.
And Janelle Carson absolutely robbed her of that one. Just caught pinching high there with Stringer.
Rowe now here in the zone for the Sirens, watched there by Yates. Able to shovel that over to the wall. It's Lang with a nice stretch pass there for Schmitz. Parrington intercepts that and exits the zone. This kid line has also looked good for the Sirens with McConey and Schmitz. Here comes Newmark, stolen for the Sirens. Walks, shots, shoots, scores!
There's a great lesson for those of you watching this who want to understand the risks of playing cross ice out of defence. You can see the cross ice pass played across the top of the defensive zone gets intercepted. The player gets to skate straight down the Royal Road and get a shot away. And Carson couldn't do much about that one, especially with the goal scoring prowess there that the Sirens bring in that opportunity.
Stephanie Newmark gets the 6th goal of the game for the Sirens, and she's up to 4 points, adding a goal to her previous 3 assists as the Sirens keep adding to the pain here, the Ducks. Parrington steals that off the stick, and the linesman goes down, and a hit there of her own teammate. It's Johnson and Parrington running into one another. Edney in front of the net, shoots, puck's loose, and it's whistle save by Carson.
It's in Carson's glove, and no one knew where it was except Carson. Everyone was bouncing around looking for the rebound, and they all could have sworn they could see the puck, but it was actually in Carson's glove.
You can see that on the CCM All-Out replay. It's actually an amazing defensive play there by the Ducks defender in Tran, who was able to get that loose puck that had bounced up and over and was able to get it over to her goaltender to cover up. Great job there, Julia Tran.
Fair bit of fortune as well in that instance too, but good play by Julia.
So the score remains 7-0 here. The puck's in the neutral zone. It's Britt Green not able to get that as Arps activates off the point. Tran fans on that one. It comes to Newman. She gets it up to Cashin. Cashin now chases in on Ma. Ma able to get under the stick there of Cashin and chip that forward, and it's now a 2-on-1. Brunt not able to get that past Tran as Caruso was open, getting ready for that pass in the slot. Pinned up on the near wall, it's Caruso who comes out there for the Siren, chips it across. York collects that on the half wall, will walk out, stolen there by Newman, not able to clear the zone though. The Ducks now will get it out through Johnson. Keeps away from the poke check there of York. Walks now into the corner, pinned up there by Ma. Puck's loose and collected there by Rowe. Australian national team defender Arps passes that up to York and missed her. That'll go down the length of the ice and called for icing as Gallagher was able to get back.
One of the Sydney Sirens players who snuck a little bit under the radar, I think, is Ma. She's been superb. Great work defensively. And good application of pressure. And certainly on the back check has been superb. That getting around the bigger Broncashin there was quite impressive by Ma. She's been very effective indeed for the Siren.
So face off here to the left of Lakari. The Ducks looking to create some offensive pressure. They've been much one and done here so far tonight. Not able to really get any sustained pressure and get anything past Lakari as of yet. Here it is though, a pass through the slot. Misses everyone, and York will now collect that. Parrington, good forecheck, blocked there by Prosa, kept in by Parrington, or maybe not, as the ever-experienced Jeff Klink, the official there, calls that one a hand pass as it was off the glove of Prosick onto the stick of Parrington.
A little bit of an unlucky deflection there, I think, for Prosick. But I think Klink was there. He didn't miss it.
So puck passed forward there by Nelson, but it's collected immediately there by Lang. Nelson will get the loose puck, though, in the neutral zone. She's watched by Schmidt. Shrugs her off and gets the puck deep. Puck pinned up on the wall. Newmark gets it there for the Siren. McConey sends that back to Newmark. It's 2-on-3 here for the Sirens as Newmark just sends that deep. Collides there with Cameron. And Nelson now finds the captain. Little one-touch pass, gives it to the American, who shovels that deep and goes for a change.
That's wise play there by that line of the Ducks, not electing to stay in. They've worked out that the change is more important than the rush, and in that occasion, they did the right thing. Gregovic out on the ice too for the Ducks at a good time. Stringer
shovels that into the far corner. It's picked up there by Schmitz, who takes a shot and knocks that off the side netting. Gregovic, a little one-touch pass to herself, will come out. She's got some skating space, and Carson's going for it, and a great defensive play there by Charlotte Rowe as she shoots that wide.
Yeah, Rowe's pick there was pretty important. If the puck got past her, Carson was away with no one to beat, except the goaltender, of course. But
Gregovic there
get a stick in the way instead.
Comes off the wall. She was watched by Payne. Guttormson, though, chases her and forces her to send it over to Carson. Carson walks through, separated by the puck. It's chipped forward and kept in there by the Ducks. Cameron backhands that. Pinching there is Herring, who gets it up to Guttormson. She enters the zone, stops up, sends it over to Payne. Picked up by Edney, walks in front and knocked down, and that will be a penalty, and it's going to go to the Ducks import, Hoyler, who stopped a grade A scoring chance.
I think that would be almost a professional foul. She had to do something. Edney was in superb position there to try and score. You've got to do something to interrupt that, get a stick in the way somehow or other, and you sometimes run afoul of the referee when it happens.
So up 7-0 here in the first game of the season. The Sydney Sirens are looking to add to their 7-0 lead. They're 1 for 2 so far tonight, and they looked dangerous last time out. Mayer sends it across, gets it back. It's the second power play out here for the Siren. Back to the point there. Regrouped. It's Arps with a shot and into the glove there of Carson.
So a lot less movement from this Sirens line as opposed to the Edney group when they're out early on. We've certainly seen them be superb on the power play. They're not quite the same level of movement, but still creating a lot of pressure on the Ducks.
Brunt faces off against Nelson, and Nelson wins it. Yates not able to get it past Arps on the point. Arps back to Mayer, who winds, takes a shot, and a big save there by Carson. York behind the net here for the Siren, gets knocked off by Tran, shovels it forward, intercepted there now by Johnson, will skate it out. Schmidt chases her back, and the Ducks get a rare chance here, shorthanded. Mayer picks up the loose puck there and just regroup on the power play here for the Siren.
Tran wisely dumping the puck in. She's been out for a while and wanted to get the change.
Here's Green, picks it up, shorthanded, watched here by Arps in the near corner. Arps tied up, kicks it over to her teammate, and the speedy Guttormson will skate this out into the neutral zone. The Sirens import takes it on the backhand, behind the net, sets up here, gets it over to Schmidt. Back to the point for Arps. She's got Edney in Ovi's office. Edney over for Newmark. Intercepted there by Green, and she's able to send that down the length of the ice and has enough in the tank to chase it down herself.
Just 20 seconds to go in the penalty on Hollier.
Edney. Forward, and a nice poke check there. Lang to keep it alive. Walks out of the corner, pushed aside there by Gallagher, centers it into the slot, but a great defensive play there by Ryland. Puck comes to the point. Edney able to keep it in, gives it over to Lang. These two connected well in the last power play. Gets it to Newmark in front for McConey. And the Siren pick it up behind the net.
McConey was well positioned there, just couldn't quite get enough of a handle on that puck.
Guttormson back to the point for Edney. Will take a shot on. It goes wide. Picked up there. Looking for the wraparound was Guttormson, but she was stopped there by Gallagher. Newman not able to get it past Lang, who takes a shot on, and down is Carson, who covers up and gets a change for the tired Ducks.
Some good unselfish play there again, once more by Sarah Edney. Had a couple of opportunities there to take shots and going for the passes across the ice. Shelby Guttormson, I think has been absolutely superb. You don't see a lot of the little subtle things she does when she's off the ice, but in terms of positioning, forcing the Ducks defence to have to watch her all the time, it just opens up space through the neutral zone, which the Sirens have been taking excellent advantage of.
Puck behind the net. Cameron comes out with it for the Ducks. Regroups here, being watched. Parrington, that was by Brunt. The D go D to D and back again, and Stringer not able to find Prosick, and it's kept in. Brunt with a fan shot and a kick save there by the quick right leg of Janelle Carson. Brunt turns away from Cameron, sends it back for York. York stopped up. You can see the Ducks look a little bit tired as the Sirens build the pressure here late in the third. Prosick now for the Ducks will take it in on Arps. She looks to take it wide, shovels it behind the net. Parrington stopped up momentarily, and that's going to allow Arps to clear the zone.
And you're not going to get much credit for this one in terms of watching great play there, but Bellamar once more just took Parrington out of the rush. She saw her coming and get straight to her and just lifted her stick up. You're not scoring on my watch.
Nelson winds and takes a shot, and a blocking arm save there by Lakari. Cameron recycles that behind the net. The aforementioned Parrington, Carl, behind on Arps, who takes a tumble, able to get up and just shield the puck. Great play there by the Sydney defender. Poke check out by York forces the Ducks to regroup, and it's Dixon here who will go D to D there with Hollier. Hollier looking for the stretch pass for Carson. It will go right on net, which will negate the icing.
Just slightly to the side of it. No, just slightly to the side of it. So they will be brought back for an icing. The Ducks not allowed to change. Get back on the ice if you swapped out. 6 minutes and 56 seconds to go in the third. The Sirens with a 7-0 lead. 38 shots on the net to 8 for the Ducks. Can the Ducks get one before the end of the game and put themselves on the board? Give us a bit of pride and momentum to build on tomorrow's rematch, which will be at 4:15 p.m. here at IceHQ.
So face-off won by the Sirens, but it's picked up by the Hungarian international Grigovic. She walks in, loses the puck. It was intercepted there and sent down the length of the ice, and Briar Johnson will be forced to regroup in her own zone for the Ducks.
The Ducks there a little bit lucky too, not to get caught for an offside. It looked like Ebony Rama might have just been on the wrong side of the blue line, but if the ref didn't see it, it didn't happen. Grigovic calling desperately for the puck. She wants some movement.
Hollier gets it over to Johnson. So coming to the zone, stopped up, not able to get it through to Rama. Great pinch here by Rowe. Puck's loose. Nice stick lift there by Ebony Rama. She'll push that off the wall and Lang to make a play. Kylie Lang with the moves, able to dodge 3 Ducks players, but eventually makes an errant pass, and the puck's just shoveled deep. Lang with the pressure, comes in, walks on the back and shoots, and tried to go top shelf over the shoulder, but only got points if it counts in New Zealand, you know, kicking it over the over for
doesn't
rugby.
Count if it hit the wrong net. That one hit the net in front of the bar, not the net behind the pipes. But Carson did a good job there, but all she could do is shut down the lines. And
so you can hear the crowd with the quack, 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 trying to get some energy here late and hopefully give the Ducks some energy to give them something to cheer about. But it's Payne who'll pick that up for the Sirens, looking to add to the misery. Payne looks to get it back to the point for Mayer. She shovels that out of the reach of Carson. Payne down for Edney, over to Guttormson, who spins, takes a shot, and a save there by Carson.
Beautiful backhander between the legs from Thompson, who has shown just about every skill you've got in the game, with
Payne
only one missing for her, and
up
that's actually
to
scoring.
Edney, who'll take a shot and rings that off the bar. Holy smokes, a millimeter different, and she would have had her fourth.
And we've got a cross-checking penalty too, and it looks like it's on
Green.
Yep.
It's on Brick Green.
Yeah, it certainly is. So she'll be sitting too. The Ducks will have 2 minutes or less of penalty kill to do now. Last time they did a pretty good job on the kill. They haven't been scored against in the penalty kill since the first one, and they've had a few chances to practice it. So a good opportunity for them to work on their kill.
This time the
strong line out
Sirens
for the
will
Sirens.
be coming out with the power play one, which did look dangerous on all 4 attempts so far. So it comes back here to Newmark, who leaves it for Lang, who had that grade A scoring opportunity, takes a shot and a great block by the captain there, Parrington.
Shot through traffic there by the Sirens.
Lang will walk the line. The native of Edmonton, Alberta, gets it over there to Edney. Edney swaps with Lang. She'll wind. Give it back to her. Takes a shot, and Carson was out of the way and not able to get it. And just like that, the power play ends with Guttormson going, but a taunt by Cameron, undisciplined, is going to give her a 2-minute penalty for unsportsmanlike, and that'll bring it back to a power play there for the Ducks.
It's going to be 4-on-3, I think. We'll see in a second.
Yeah, it was a great play, a battle in front, and Cameron able to draw the penalty there on Guttormson, but a little taunt there in front of the net will garner an unsportsmanlike penalty, one that the Ducks coach for sure would not be very happy about.
Yeah, square all those things up, and just a little bit of a lapse of concentration. They've all been there, but it's not the point. You still can't afford to do it.
Yeah, so they will be offsetting, so they'll play 5-on-4. 5-on-4 still for the remainder of this 1 minute, 31 seconds. So puck goes loose and the chase is on. It's Arp's first back for Sydney, being hunted down by the Ducks captain. Parrington tied up York, but picking it up was Arps, and she goes back over to Mayer, who's going to enter the offensive zone here for the Siren. Mayer dodges the check at Dixon, centers it, and just missed York.
Parrington not quite able to clear it. It was on her stick briefly.
Arps gets it over to York. York, cross ice. Schmitz with a shot centered. And Parrington able to knock that aside.
I'm not sure Schmitz realized how good an opportunity she had there to score the goal. I don't think Carson was ready for it.
Arps gets it down to York. Schmitz goes to the net. Brunt gives an opportunity. Instead centered, and a great stick there by Carson, and it will be a high stick there as York touched up, and we'll have a face-off out in front of the Duck zone. So far, the Siren, plenty of offensive pressure here on the power play, but haven't been able to get a shot on net. They're still 1 for 3 so far tonight.
Just 37 seconds to go on that initial penalty, which will then square things up to 4-on-4 for the remaining 3 minutes of the game.
The big line back out, but of course, Guttormson in the penalty box, so she's replaced by McConey here on the power play. Lang activates off the point. We'll take that into the far side corner. She'll curl up, look to give it back to Newmark. Edney goes into the offensive zone. Lang, watched there by Rama, gets it over to Newmark. Sends it back to the Canadian, who gives it over to Edney. Edney, Lang, Newmark, over to Edney. Edney tied up there by Julia Tran and wasn't able to get a stick on it, but she regroups, gets it to Newmark, centered to Edney. The power play is over, so the Ducks now kill off another, and the Siren go 1 for 4. Green shot that one into the legs of Lang. Shot and a one-timer by Rama, saved by Lakari.
That was Green straight out of the penalty box and straight into the play. There's a lesson again for those of you that think it's a great idea to get a change straight after a penalty. Green was straight in and created a chance.
Edney tied up and intercepted there by Rama, who's still shaking her head. She knows she had the best chance yet to score the Ducks' first goal. Collision there in front, and it's going to be a penalty there to Johnson. as she made a collision there on, who's that, Brunt, knee on knee.
It's a knee on knee. I don't think there's any intent in it, but that's not the point. You've still got to be a little bit more careful about those things. Knee on knee collisions can give many a player a knee reconstruction, and if you've ever had one, you know it's not a lot of fun. You lose about a year of your life if you have a knee recon. I speak from personal experience.
I always think about that one we saw a few years ago on this rink, Jamie Burke against an Adelaide team. But we're back under pressure here with the Sirens back on the power play. Mayer over to Arps. Arps takes it deep, will curl back. She's got Mayer on the point, but instead elects to give it down to York. York now sends it back to the Australian national team defender, Arps, who gets it back, and a great stick lift there by Grgovic forces Mayer to activate and take it deep in the corner. Arps back down there for Mayer, who will walk through and go cross ice to York. Great passing play, intercepted, scored! Sydney Sirens power play goal. Scored by Ebony Brunt as she gets her first of the game.
Great job of just being in the right place at the right time. I'm not saying about hockey, if you're in the slot and your stick's on the ice, sooner or later magic will happen. And the puck just kind of bobbled there onto her stick, and pretty easy shot in the end just to sort of tuck it in past an already committed Carson, who couldn't do much about it. 1 minute and 40 seconds to go. 8-0 the lead to the Sirens, but we'll be all square up at 5-on-5 for the first time in a while.
Edney faced off against Grgovic. Grgovic won it, and on the forecheck here is the Ducks' Willison Allen. Haven't heard much of her so far tonight.
I think it's Pixel's first shift. It'd be good for her to get on the ice and get a little bit of a can to get herself ready for.
Grgovic pinned up there. It's Herink able to get it to Gudmundson, who was looking for Edney, but was tied up, and that stick check just forced the Sirens captain to go in a little bit prematurely and cause the offside.
1 minute 19 seconds to play. 10 shots on the net for the Ducks, but unfortunately for them, none of them have been able to get past Nakari, who has been pretty good today, it's fair to say. Carson's been superb for the Ducks, but with 40 shots on, a lot of them are going to go.
So puck shoveled deep. It's Herring first back for the Siren. She turns away from the Ducks' forecheck and gets it up on the wall where it's tied up and forces the Siren to regroup. Payne on the near wall looks to go cross ice over to Guttormson. Edney collects that, and Dixon forced to go D to D to get it back to Hoyler. Intercepted by Guttormson, walks off, winds, takes a shot, and blocked there by the Ducks defender. They score! So something out of nothing. Edney returns the favor and gets it to Guttormson as she scores her first as a Siren.
Guttormson had been threatening to do that all game. She's been in the right place, and incredible playmaking from her and some amazing skill. And you've got to say that's an earned goal with 44.5 seconds to play. Sirens out to a 9-0 lead over the Ducks. We will have a lot of thinking to do overnight. Hopefully they can have a good night's rest and sleep and come out tomorrow a bit more prepared for the intensity of playing at this level. I think it's fair to say they've been well and truly out-muscled and out-hustled this afternoon. But tomorrow's another day, and we'll see if they can recover and come out with a bit more intensity tomorrow, because that's what they're going to need to do.
So a milestone night tonight, as we already knew. It was the Ducks' first game in the AWIHL, but Guttormson, the import for Sydney, gets her first for the team as well.
Carson there just pouncing on that last one in front of the net. Just 30.7 seconds to go in this lesson, we could say, for the Ducks. The Sydney Sirens have come out absolutely hard as nails. They've been recently very successful. A couple of bad years for them, but they came out today on a mission, and they've certainly shown us that they're here to win the AW again if they can. But the Ducks will do everything they can.
So a puck sent down the length of the ice. It's first back to it is Lang. She turns away from the Ducks forechecker, which was Newman. Comes to an open wing. McConey will chip that forward and get it over to the young Schmidt. With speed, takes a shot, and a blocking arm save there by Carson. Tied up there was Stringer, who shovels it back, and That'll be it.
And that will do it for the first game for these two teams for the 2025-26 AWIHL Championship Series here as they compete for the championship. A great game by the Sydney Siren, who showed heart and hustle and a whole lot of speed and a whole lot of muscle throughout that game. It was a good display for them on how to play the game. Great game in particular. Sarah Edney with 3 goals.
4 points for
Shelby
Edney,
Thompson.
4 points for Newmark, and 4 points for Lang, all getting on the party. And a great shutout by number 38, Ella Lakari, for the Sirens, as the Sirens start off the season in the win column and will be sitting top of the ladder at the end of tonight.
It's a big percentage booster for them in terms of plus minus. It doesn't get much better than that for a start for them, and of course the Ducks would prefer it to be otherwise around. But I think too, Gossie, a bit of an unsung player there from the Sirens was in particular Bella Maher, who was superb in defence and just shut down so many opportunities the Ducks might have otherwise got. But I think probably the biggest difference between the two was the forechecking pressure that the Sirens put on the Ducks all the time. The Ducks never had unpressured puck, and every time they tried to get it out of the zone, they were just under relentless pressure. And when that happens, humans under pressure do dumb things. And that's just, they did the best they could. But the speed and the pressure put on them by. And Ducks have a lot to learn and to think about overnight. We'll see if they can come back tomorrow. We are back tomorrow at 4:15 p.m.
I was going to say, that's the best thing about we get it all back again tomorrow, and the Ducks will have something to prove. So see you all then, and we look forward to having you watch us or listen to us or enjoy this lovely game of hockey.
Best way to see it is to be here, but hopefully the second best is to be on the live stream and catching up with us, bringing it through to you. We hope you've enjoyed the presentation this evening, and I hope you enjoyed the game, especially those of you from hard feelings there at all. But I hope you very much enjoy the show. We will be with you at 4:15 tomorrow for the next game of this rematch series between the Ducks and the Sydney Sirens. Bring it on.